Hi, welcome to this Term 4 Mini Test 2 Foundation Tier tutorial. So I'm going to start off with question 1. So this test this term is all on calculators type of question. So you're allowed to use a calculator. So the calculator that people will buy on the market will look something like this. Okay. So to demonstrate number 1, first of all, I want to reiterate in essence that this is called standard form. This topic is standard form. So if you want to look up in any revision booklet on this topic, you will find more on that. Okay. So give your answers in standard form. So this is a division. So all you have to do is put in the calculator. Okay, 4.2 times 10 to the power of, and that's 7. Make sure that cursor comes back down by clicking on the right arrow like that. Okay, otherwise you will have the bracket like this. Okay, so that's the most common misconception. So and then close the bracket and then divide by open bracket 3 times 10 to the power of 4. Again, right arrow, and then that. Press equal, you get 1,400. So the answer is 1,400 on the calculator, but it wants you to write the answers in standard form. So how do we do it as standard form? Well, if you look at the notes, etc., you will find standard form is always written in times 10 to the power of a number, and that number you times by must be between 1 and 10, but not including 10. So therefore, to make this number to be between 1 and 10, you would want the decimal point or the place value to move to the right, or decimal point move to the left. So you should be using 1.4. How many places you move to the left, which is 3, is what you put in the power. Okay, because if you think about it, 10 to the power of 3 is actually 1,000. So 1,000 times 1.4 would give you 1,400. That's all it is. So 10 to the power of 3 places. Okay, so that's the answer for that. Okay, so 1 mark for writing 1,400, 1 mark for writing 1.4 times 10 to the power of 3. Okay. All right, moving on. This has been tested before in the previous mini test. So to expand is also the same as the term multiply out. Okay, those who have done some revisions, almost all of them got this right. Okay, so if you make sure you watch this video as a reminder. So 5 lots of x minus 4. So that's x minus 4. X minus 4, x minus 4, x minus 4, x minus 4, 5 lots of them. So to do that, you can simply times 5 by x, so there's 5 lots of x, and then you can times 5 by minus 4, which is minus 20. And that's your final answer. 5x cannot take away 20, because this is a number, hasn't got a letter x, so you can't do any more. And this one, 3 lots of 3m. Now I'm going to do it differently this time. I'm going to write down, there are 1 3n minus 10, another 3n minus 10, another 3n minus 10, because there are 3 lots of them. And what is the total is what it's asking. So you have to add them up. So add them up, etc. Okay? So 3m plus 3m plus 3m, that's going to give me 9m. Minus 10 plus another minus 10 plus another minus 10, that's minus 30. Now, this is a more long-winded way, but if you don't remember that you have to times, you could think about this is 3 lots of 3m minus 10, and then that way might make more sense. Okay? So 3m, 3 times 3m, 9m, 3 times minus 10, minus 30. It's a much quicker way if you can recall how to multiply out bracket. Okay, so that one as well. Some people forget to times the second term. Okay. Right, next one. So I will upload this answer sheets with all the annotations on the show my homework. So when you do the test 3 and revise from it, then you can also look at my working out. Okay. So hopefully when you're watching this video, you don't need to write anything down, etc. Just really focus here. Right, square root 7 squared minus 19. So the first step is, let's simplify what 7 squared is. So 7 squared, if you recall, it means 7 times itself. So 7, 7, 49. So you can write that out like that. And then 49 take away 19 is actually 30. Okay. And so now you put square root of 13 there. So square root, okay, that's where it is. 30, press equal. Oh, it's giving me the same answer, but they want me to write all the figures. So most students from the test 1, and in fact test 2 as well, that they just copy their answers. Okay, but you have to write that in long normal numbers. Okay, so that means so if you just write down all the figures, 5.47722, and then 5575. Done. Okay, that's 1 mark for doing that, and 1 mark for doing that. And the next bit is to round to 3 significant figure. Now, a lot of us are very good at this now. So, 1 significant figure, so decimal place start from the decimal point, so 1 decimal place, 2 decimal place. But significant figure start from the first digit. For first non-zero digit, if this was 0 point something, it doesn't count. So therefore, this is a 5, so it starts as 1 significant figure, 2 significant figure, 3 significant figure. So stop there, look, compare this with this. So 7, can it round up because it's bigger than 4? Yes, it can. So 5.48 is the rounded answer. Okay, so if you think about this, if you're in a shop, a woodworking shop, and you have to cut a piece of material, which is this dimension on a calculator, but machine can't do that accurately, so you will have to round the number so that the machine is capable of. So the more expensive the machines, the more significant figure it can cope. Okay, so in general, 3 significant figure is a very good idea to use. Okay, number 4. I do apologize on the test 1 when that number was incorrect, but this time round it should be okay. So to find the nth term of a sequence, we did this in term 3, is to first work out what is it going up in. Okay, it's going up in 5, so which means it's in the 5 times table. So 5 times n. Okay, n stands for which number term you're looking for. So if I'm looking for term number 1, n is 1, 1 times 5 is 5, but I want 3, so I have to take away 2. Okay, try this again. I want a second term, so 2 times 5 is 10, but I want 8, so 10 must take away 2 to make 8. Okay, so another way to find this number much more easily is that find what number is before your first term, called the 0th term. So if this is going up in 5, I just have to go down in 5. So 3 take away 5 is going to be minus 2. So just stick that number in here. So that's your formula. Okay. So let's try another one. Term 1, term 2, term 3, term 4, term 5. Let's say I want to find this term 5 and I don't know what that number is. I could do n is 5. 5 times 5. Because letters and number touch, remember, means multiply, times 5 times 5 is 25, take away 2, 23. There you are. So that's a good way to check if you got your nth term correct. So another confusing bit is when they talk, most people look at the M term and think, what is M term? It's actually a formula to find any term in a sequence. Okay? So that one you don't need a calculator for. Okay, this is usually, I call this the unitary topic, because really you need to work out what 1 is worth in order to find 10. So since they don't tell you what 1 is, but by law in the supermarket they now have to tell you what 1 is worth, so that you're not confused with all those offers. So 1.96 kilogram, since it's 4 jars for 1.96 kilograms, so therefore for 1 jar is to share between 4 jars. And if you put that in the calculator, some of you might be able to do that in your head. So 1.96 divided by 4, and that's going to be 0.49. So 4, which means this is 49p. Okay, let's stick to that first. Okay, 49p. So 10 jars will be 10 lots of 49p, which is equal to 490p. Sorry, let me look at this. Sorry, I do apologize. This is in kilograms, so I remember now. So that's not in pence, it's in grams. So let's try this again. Let's just go back to this. Okay, let's do that again. So you get 0.49 kilograms. So 0.49 kilogram for 1 jar. Okay. I mean, I normally with numbers, I always think of them as money. It makes it more real life, and it can solve the problem more enjoyable. Okay, so this is 0.49 kilogram. So which means you have to do 10 times 0.49 kilogram. Now, just before I continue, let's get rid of this. What is 0.49 kilogram in grams? Okay, so 1 kilogram, and if you recall in lessons, I said 1K stands for 1,000. Okay, so therefore, if you times 1,000 by 0.49, 0.49 kilogram is actually 490 grams. Okay, so not 49 grams. So let's go back to solving the problem then. So 10 lots of 0.49 will be 4.9 kilogram. Well, I know it should be bigger than 1.96 because 4 jars is 1.96, 10 jars must be more. So, yeah, that must be correct. Yeah. Okay, so moving on. Number 6. Write down the median. Now, test 1, it asks for the mean. Median is to find the middle value. But we must first put the data in order from smallest to higher. So let's double check how many numbers there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lovely. So let's start with 3. Cross it off. 4. It's a very good idea to cross the value off, because quite often people just miss out one number or do too many. Okay, so 6, 9, and then triple 11, and then 26. 21, and then 26, and then finally 28. Okay, so let's just move you onto this side. If you can. Okay. So, find the middle value. So what you do is you can cover it if you got it on the paper, okay, or you can cancel it out like I do as a pair. Notice how I draw my line opposite way, so that way I can see which pair I'm getting rid of. So what I have in the end is, okay, so what I would have at the end is there should be 211 in the middle, so it's this 2. Okay, so so this is the program that's not very good when I stop writing. So let's go for, apologize. So this is the 2 numbers in the middle, because if you have even number data, there's always going to be 2 numbers in the middle. If you have an odd number data, like 9 data, there will be only 1 number in the middle, okay? So what's the middle of 11 and 11? Well, most people will just do it as 11, because that's what middle of 11 is. But the maths to work out the middle number of 2 numbers is to add them up, add the 2 numbers up and then halve it, which is 22 divided by 2, which is 11. So the median in this answer is 11. Okay? Number 7. So 1 mark for showing arrangement of data from smallest to highest, and then some sort of indication that you are trying to find the middle number. And then 1 mark for the median. Okay, number 7, moving on. Now, did you know that probability, for something to really, really happen for certain, the probability is 1. Certain is 1. Or 100% is going to happen, right? If it's not going to happen, impossible is 0. Okay? Or 0% as well. So, probability of an event is going to happen, altogether, they should always add up to 1. Okay? So, for that missing value, all you have to do is to add them all up and then take away from 1. Okay? So, now, quite surprisingly, lots of people got this wrong by doing 0.22 at 0.1. They wrote 0.23. Now, if you recall, 0.22 at using column method, 0.1. See, this is the tenths. This is the tenths. So it's the tenths that is 3, not the hundredths. So it's actually 0.32. 0.32, 0.27. So that comes to 0.59. And then add another 0.05. So 9 plus 5 makes 4, 64. So it's 1 take away 0.64, which is 0.36. So this x is 0.36. Okay? So I like to look at my answering and trying to relate to real life situation. So which means yellow must be the most amount in the bag, because it's got the highest probability. Not a single number is bigger than 0.36. It's the biggest chance. It's the highest chance of picking a yellow. Okay, so that's something to as a hobby that you must look at the answers and then think about what does this answer means. Okay. Yeah. Number 8. Right. Let me highlight some keywords to show that the triangle is an isosceles. Give reason for each stage of your working. Well, what is an isosceles? An isosceles has 2 equal sides. It doesn't have to be sitting like that. It can be a triangle that does that. So when they have 2 equal sides, which many students tells me, but they can't tell me what about the angle properties. The angle properties, if they are the same sides, if these 2 sides are the same, then they are symmetrical, right? So if they are symmetrical, that means this angle here must be the same as this angle too. Hence, the term base angles should equal. The 2 base angles are equal. So the base angle for this one will be here then. Okay, there and there. Okay. So to find if there is an isosceles, I just need to prove if this is 54. Well, if you just narrow your focus onto these two angles here, it's on a straight line. And so, if you find out what that angle is, okay, so 180 take away 108, if you like, put it in a calculator, but it will comes to 72 degrees. So this is 72 degree and this is 54 degree. So no, it's not an isosceles, right? Well, however, I assume it's this too, right? What about this? If this is 54, 72, then this is still an isosceles. So I better double check what that third angle is as well. So 72 at 54 is going to give me 7 plus 5, 126. 180, take away 126. If you put that in the calculator, that's going to give me 54 degrees. Okay, so in other words, this is an isosceles triangle because the base angles are here. So in fact, my drawing should be referring to the symmetry line here. This half and this half is symmetrical. So yes, it is an isosceles because, I'm going to use a symbol called because two base angles are equal. Two base angles are equal. Okay, that's it, done. So, quite tricky this one, because one might look at this and think, oh, that's not the same, so you rule out that this is not an isosceles triangle. So make sure you always work out all angles and look at that. We just found it's an isosceles. If they are all equal, it's called an equilateral triangle, and it only works if they are all 60 degrees. Okay, so there you are. So yes, is the answer. Number 9. Well, test 1, there was no equal sign. We call that an expressions. And expressions now equal to 4, and there's only one letter missing, is an equation. I can't explain this more than what I'm showing you now, because if I explain more, you might think this is a lot to learn, but it's all it is. One single letter and equal sign is an equation, because you can solve it. You can find out what x is. Okay? So, number 10. Vicky. Okay, so I quite like to do Vicky and David. I just see Rachel there, that's why I usually do that. They both won some lottery money, £21,000, and they split the money into the ratio of 2 to 5, which means David's going to get more, okay, which is quite unfair. Why David get more? Maybe he paid for the lottery ticket, perhaps. Okay, so I like to use visual language to answer racial problems. So instead of writing 2, I draw 2 circles. Think of it as a coin with no face value, and then I put 5 circles. So all these coins are worth the same amount. We just don't know what the face value it is. So all this together is the 21,000 winning. So how much is one coin going to be worth? If they're all going to be worth the same amount, all I have to do is to go 21,000 divided by 7. There are 7 coins, and that comes to £3,000. The answer isn't 3,000. It's telling me that each coin has a face value of 3,000. So I write that on every coin. Okay, how much does Vicky get? Vicky gets 2 coins, right? Which means she gets 3,000 plus 3,000, or you can do 3,000 times 2 to finish off. So 3,000 times 2, £6,000. That's what Vicky's going to get. There we are. Okay, just double check, because I usually do this. I also work out what this is. 3 times 5, which is £15,000. 15,000 at 6,000 is £21,000. So I won't always check at the end to see if I do get 21,000 in case I make a mistake somewhere. So there we have it. So this is the Term 4 Mini Test 2 Foundation tier. So hope you find this helpful, and if you have any more questions, don't hesitate to ask me. Okay, thank you.